to another episode of Down to Business. Today's a little bit different. I've got Shane Hunt from Fighters Den, boxing gym where I do a bit of training. But Shane's got a great story and we want to talk to you a bit about getting into business. A lot of the people we've filmed or interviewed previously on this series really are either in the game and quite mature businesses or professionals advising business. So we're taking it back a step here to getting into business, and sometimes we forget about what that is. So we'll get right into the detail of what Shane's learned, can share with many of you out there, I'm sure. So welcome, Shane.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
So before we get into it, tell me a bit about the story. I mean, I know that for the viewers of Shane Hunt,
yeah,
background.
Well, I've been in and out of the gyms all my life. I've always been an employee, so I've always worked in the mines or other various jobs. But yeah, just I've always loved it. I turned to the coaching side about 7-8 years ago, and ever since then I've just never stopped. So yeah, it's been good. But just juggling working in the mines and doing my passion, my boxing, 7 days a week for years. You know, it was burning me out, but the time had come that I thought I'd get out of the mines and I'd start my business.
So we'll get back to the business and the jump in a minute, but boxing, you know, I mean, I've had my young boys, I've got 11, love it, you know, but a lot of people out there will be thinking, you know, boxing and thuggery and this sort of stuff, but talk about what we mean by boxing and I guess what it's done for you, but also the people you have come in the gym.
Well, it's called the sweet science for a reason, so it's not just, you know, bash and get bashed. You know, you can come into the gym, not even have to do any contact, but you can learn the fundamentals in a safe environment, especially my gym. But yeah, I know some people look at it that way and they see it on TV, the blood and whatever, but no, it's just it's an art and it's good to know for your confidence and self-esteem. So
yeah, I think that's a key thing. It's been around for a very, very long time in the pugilist, but I mean, I know when I go into the gym, I run into people from corporate world, I run into people that I know from community, and it's a great atmosphere. People just, you know, you won't get a better workout than whether you've been doing the boxercise type stuff or the fitness circuits or actually in the ring. I challenge anyone to give it a crack. So you're a bit of a 7-day-a-weeker, you know, if you like, but you know, there's that point that comes. You've gone into business.
Yep.
Family's not from a business background?
No.
No? So it's all complete new?
Yes, you know, I haven't grown up where my parents have owned businesses or anything like that and seen them do that, no way. So I've got a lot of mates that have their own businesses, but yeah, so it's all new to me.
Yeah, so I guess we talk to a lot of people on this series that you know, we're good at something and decided, well, bugger this, I can go and start a business, and then they get into business and go, oh shit, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't know that, didn't know this, because no one teaches you generally how to run a business. And I'd argue even at you know, doing a degree and that sort of stuff in business, it still doesn't give you that practical side that effectively the School of Hard Knocks might provide. So you know, the journey. What was that? I guess the impetus or the reason, the thing that tipped you over the edge, is to go, I'm doing it.
Well, one thing, I didn't like the mines. I don't think anyone does that's in there. It's just the money that you're sort of in there for. But I don't know. You know, a lot of my clients, like my family and all that, you know, if you're good at something and you love something so much, why not, you know, take it to the next step? And this is what I've done, you know, open up my own business where, like you just said, I knew nothing about business or how to run a business. I had no degrees, so big leap of faith, like just, but yeah, I've done it and I'm never looking back. So.
But as you said, you've had, you know, you mentioned, you know, a lot of people in business.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people that come in the gym that have got, you know, we mentioned profile or connections, etc.
Yeah.
So I mean, an important thing I would say is that you've got call it sounding boards around you that you can bounce things off, you can check in, you can, you know.
Mate, if you had a microphone in my gym, that's what we do. So, you know, it's just especially my pad work, my one-on-ones. We don't stay mute. We talk about everything, you know, with all my clients, and with the guys like half of my clients, they're business owners, so they've been through what's worked, what doesn't work. So yeah, it's good just to feed off those guys and hear their advice. You know, and that's what I've done. So
we talk in many of these about mentors, and I guess you know yours is probably a bit unique that you're in there in a training sense, but at the end of the day, that is what it is. You know, you people that have trodden the path before you, and I think that's a key thing for many business owners or people that are thinking of getting a business. Is you know trying to do it yourself, you don't have to, and it's the hardest way. And then often, you know, if you can prevent making a mistake that someone else has been there before, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I think you just put it before. It's not a mistake; it's a lesson.
So you made the jump.
Yep.
You made the jump. How long have you been now? What have you been?
Probably 3 months, 3 or 4 months of open.
But that's in the actual new gym.
New gym, yeah. Oh, mate, you know, I've been in and out of gyms. Then COVID hit, doing my own thing. Then I work from home, set it up from home, build my clientele from there, and then still working in the mines. So it was a tough period doing all that. And you know, I'm a single dad too, with 2 kids. So juggling all that all in one, I just thought now's the time. Let's do it. So,
but I think the good lesson there again, and you mightn't realise it might have been by good luck, but at the end of the day, you know, you said you build your clientele. You didn't go and jump into the big gym straight away, you know, which, you know, with you know, an external premises creates liabilities and commitments, etc. So I like the way, you know, you've taken that stepping stone. I see too many people, whether it be, you know, the passion for a cafe or a restaurant or a gym or whatever, all competitive industries, and they give it bang, straight, you know, want everything at once.
Yeah. So I'm glad I did it, you know, and I did build a good, solid clientele, you know. So yeah.
So what are some of the things when you thought, okay, you know, 3 months ago you got into the new gym?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you knew I needed a premises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even talk about how hard was it to get a premises?
Gosh, well, you know, I was searching for a long time, you know, and because I'm from the Newcastle town area, the Maryville area, and I didn't want to leave town, so I was looking for commercial spaces all in the Newcastle area. Way too expensive, very hard to actually set up a gym in these when they're not, you know, DA approved for a gym, you know, car spaces, etc. So it was a struggle, so it was months trying to find a place, but luckily enough, I found a place out of Bennetts Green, and it was only small, and I was questioning if it was going to work, but it's working perfectly so far, so I'm glad I've done it. So,
and even on that, I guess, and I'm trying to put words in your mouth, but I guess be careful what you're told by people, and you know, some of the lessons you get there about who you can and can't trust, or you know, if you want something, get it in writing, etc. Have you experienced much of that?
Yes. I'd say yeah. But like I said, I've done this all on a budget, my little thing. You know, build the gym pretty much myself. Everything's done all by me, you know. So not having to like lean on other people or, you know, expect a lot from other people. So, you know, except for me, I mean, give me a little bit of money. So that's about it. So yeah, but in terms of contracts, it's on that.
Yeah. Things that you've learned in this early, I mean, it's still early days and you're still learning, but what's some of the things that, from a business point of view, that 3 months ago you weren't aware of that now you are?
Well, starting it in winter, being boxed in, and, you know, a lot of my classes are early mornings.
Get out of bed.
Yeah, so they don't want to get out of bed, it's too cold, their fingers are too numb when they're hitting, so there's a lot of things that are going against you, but it's starting to build now, and but yeah, that was one thing. So just hoping at that time.
Yeah. So I guess what your market want?
Sorry.
What's the market want? As in what your clientele want?
Well, the sweat and lose weight and to do it in a fun, good environment, I guess. So.
And what about some of the? I guess everything's down to insurances and banking and, you know, simple things like.
Well, yeah, I really didn't know this from the start, you know. So, like I said, I was on a budget. Here's my money. This is what I've got to spend to find a premises, the insurance, all these little extra costs from not being business savvy that I've learned. Oh my God, you know, this money here, you know. So yeah, so there's no capital really behind me from starting out. So I've learned that now, you know. So from future, if I wanted to go into a bigger premises or, you know, expand the company or whatever. I know now that all these things that I've learned. So, yeah.
And I think one of the other things I often say to clients as well, and you've probably found this, is, you know, you need to get paid.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, especially depending on, you know, all walks of life come in, but you need to make it easy to get paid.
Yep.
You know, so I think some people go, right, we only accept cash or we only accept plastic or whatever it may be, and I go, you know, like, yes, you've got to weigh up the cost of putting in things like FPOS machines or direct debits, but reality is you need to make it easy to get cash in the door. Because cash is king.
Cash is king. Yeah. So yes, so all the FPOS and all that's in now, but yeah, cash, 100%.
And how have you been getting the name out there? Because that's what many people struggle with.
Well, that's one thing I've struggled with, 100%, is our marketing side. So in terms of the socials, you know, I'm not a very big social guy. You know, that's not my forte. I'm good at putting a photo up or a video, but I don't know the ins and outs, especially to set up a business social like Instagram. But slowly learning, just like everything else. You know, just got to keep putting everything out there. Just your content, just keep pushing out there, expand it so people can see. You know, give me clients to share and all that sort of stuff. And since I've been doing that and going, you know, a little bit more and over the top with it, you know, the numbers have been coming through the door. So
yeah, and I think that's a key thing you just mentioned. Your clients sharing. Like, reality is we don't just assume people, you know that you want them to share, or don't just assume that people are going to refer you to people because they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, reality is we live in a busy world, and I think you know, actually asking people, because then you haven't just got your network, you've got all their networks. You start to get that compounding effect. Second to that, I think little tip would be like you did with when you started. You know, start small, and then before you go into the big gym, it's out of the same with any of these, you know, the marketing or merchandise or whatever it may be. It's actually start and try some things, make sure it's wanted or it's getting effectiveness, and then you can always push it out from there. So, you know, whether you realise it or not, I think some of the things you're going through aren't bad habits to get into. So, well done.
Like I said before, you know, I didn't have all that money behind me. All the money went to get into the gym, you know. But now, like the merchandise, being able to spend some money on that, so that people can buy, and just things are growing, you know, because I'm just starting to make a bit more money, you know. So it's good.
Yeah, and from that, I guess the other thing, and you know, not to put you on the spot, but I know some of the people get into business and they go, right, we're going to start, you know, working and all the money's going to come flowing. Like, reality is, for most business owners, you're not pulling too much out for quite a while.
No.
How have you found that?
No, well, that's what everyone's told me, and I was thinking, no, surely, like, it'll be right, you know, give me a couple of months, you know. I've already got a good clientele, but yeah, you're right. It's like, I'm not really paying myself a wage at all. You know, I just want the business to thrive, so all the money just goes into there. And yeah, if I've got to do it tough for a while, as long as there's a roof over my kids' head and the food, I'm laughing. So it's good.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have that expectation because you know, too many people think the other way.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I think when you're putting a good plan together or even starting out a business, the best way to be is, you know, under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
You know, plan for the worst and shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
But so many of you see go, well, it's going to be the best, and it's just
that's it.
that reality.
You sort of wish that, you hope that, like it's just going to click like that, but yeah, in reality, it's you got to get on the grind and make it work. You know.
And so then leading in, you mentioned, you know, you speak to a lot of people that come in the gym and a lot of mates, but what's some of the good tips or advice that you've received?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. We talk every day of the week, like to everyone. So just be patient. You know, things will come. As long as my headspace is good, not get too down about not like you said before, those expectations, don't set the bar too high to start with, you know, so it'll all come as long as you do the work and just turn up every day, just do your best, and it'll come. So,
well, it's nearly like you know, for those, when I said trainers boxing, it's also, you coaches professionals as well, but it's not like you're talking to one of your fighters saying just get the round and enough rounds will get the result. It's nearly the same in business, you know. Those little wins we need to celebrate, but we also can't, you know, set those expectations. But I think for me, the other one, and I see what you do, you know, some of the same I've heard before, you know, luck comes to the hardest workers. You know, there's no secret in that. Some people think they open the doors and, you know, as I said before, the money's going to come flying, or it's just going to be easy. Well, it's not.
No.
You know, business is hard work. Other than that, I think gets a rude, you know, wake-up call pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, especially someone that's just learned on the job too, you know. It's, you learn as you go, but it's so rewarding, you know. And like rewarding is, you know, you have people from all walks of life, you know, you get to meet all these new people, especially what I do. And they come in, some of them are doing it for their health reasons, you know, especially mental health. Like I have so many, but the young kids that come in to build their confidence up, you know, I have parents calling me all the time, like, oh, my daughter's confidence is low, you know, she gets bullied with this, bring her in, you know, and to see the change in them, it's I wouldn't change any of this for the world. That feeling of seeing others thrive from my sort of training and what we do here,
it's
nothing
great.
better.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I guess, you know, off the back of that, then, and we'll get to some of the mental health stuff. But I mean, you see a lot of people. You get people ringing you. How important is the feedback cycle? Like, I mean, you probably get it just anecdotally from people when you're training. But how important is it for a business to get feedback from their services so you can adapt? Well,
a lot of, just say my kids class for an example. You know, I started off very small. I just started those kids classes here, and it's from word of mouth from the parents and the kids and all that love it and have been loving coming and just my sort of training and just the relationships that I've built with these kids. And it's just grown just from word of mouth of them preaching about how good I am as a coach and how good the gym is. You know, so yeah.
And what's your, I mean, you might know the answer to this because you might have thought about it yet, but as you grow, obviously, you know, you said you've got other commitments outside of the business. As you grow and you need to, you know, have you thought about what it looks like when you bring on your first person? Which is a big step.
I might be able to get a holiday. I'm very desperate for one, but, you know, I started this knowing that, you know, I might not get one of them for a while, you know. So
I guess what I'm looking at is how do you just said, a lot of the parents, for instance, who bring their kids love what Shane does. How do you get what Shane does to become part of Fighters Den, whether you're there or not?
Well, a lot of my fighters, they're there in the class watching what I do, warming up, etc. You know, so they're in my classes. They've seen me train. I train them every day of the week. You know, they sort of they pick up on a lot of things I do. The way I speak to people, the way I instill what I want from them, what I expect from them. So yeah, they've been around. So I'll probably look to put some of them into some of the classes.
Yeah, they'll look so really high from within.
Yeah.
And even people that are shadowing
not from the outside thing, like, you know, but you know, if they want to be in that game of boxing, it's good to teach too, not just to train, you know. So
very good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, before we go to some of the benefits, I mean, on the business journey, you know, as I said, this is generally a business-focused podcast or video. What's some of the biggest mistakes, or as I said, lessons that you've learned in the short journey so far?
Well, I thought I already explained them. Just don't expect to succeed straight away.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's only been short term, and like it's not like I've just gone and started this straight away. I have built that clientele, but thinking, you know, let's move into the big premises and watch it take off. But it's not the case. You know, you've got to really work to get those people in the door. You know,
that's a good point. I didn't cover that one, but you said about your clientele, and I was one of them. You know, I think for those who don't know where Shane was trained, I lived not a street away, I lived about 5 doors up the road. So I'd get up, roll out of bed, walk down. You know, like when you say that you moved to Bennett Screen, as much as not far, in the head it felt a bit far. You built that clientele around an area. What was their reaction like, or what were the conversations had when you said you were moving, if any?
There was a lot of chats with pretty much all my clients, seeing whether they were going to come still. Pretty much 100% sweet as. Wherever you go, Shane will come. So that I thought might have been an issue, even though it's only a 15-minute drive, 14-minute drive it takes me. But yeah, no, it seems that's okay.
But I think the good thing is there, you know, again, taking generalisations here, but a lot of people in business do things because they want to do it or for another reason they think it's right, without actually communicating or talking to their clientele, their market, whatever it may be. You know, that can be the biggest mistake. So
I was very open from day dot. What places I was looking at, what areas I was looking at, seeing what their feedback was. So you know, because a lot of my clients, they are in that Newcastle, that town area, you know, live nearby. So you know, the reason I thought maybe the reason why they'll come to me is just close by, good, you know, good training, sweet. But yeah, the extra travel hasn't affected anything. So,
yeah, good.
Yeah,
good. All right, so let's get into actually the boxing side, okay? You know,
cool.
I love it. I've been doing it for years, and got into it through footy and just continued. So I mean, I'm a convert, but if I talk to some of my partners or I talk to other people I know, they probably haven't looked at it as much. You know, there's a lot of corporates that do it, and what's some of the things you see that people get the benefit out of, you know, coming in and having a session?
Well, for example, you know, I've got a guy who owns 3 hospitality businesses, right? Could be very stressful. I think it would be stressful trying to run all those sort of things.
You know the guy you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and he comes, you know, for, you know, especially just say Saturday morning. He's there every Saturday morning. That keeps him off the drink or off anything after the shift or after work on a Friday night. It's religious for him, that to keep him good in the head and just to keep him focused on more of his training. Well, yeah, it definitely helps, you know. But yeah, the less stressed, the you know, the fights to depression, you know, coming in the training, letting the steam off, you know, it really helps with just all my clients.
So yeah, there's obviously the health benefits from a natural fitness point of view, and then probably better lifestyle choices, if you like, knowing that you got to be there at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's it. You know, train your body to.
I mean, I know from our business we're very big on you know, the well-being of employees in our team, and not just from a point of view of a nice to do or employment, you know, retention, but also from a point of view of people that are generally in a better state of mind or healthier, you get better productivity, okay, which leads to better results, etc. And you know, actually want to be at work, you know, which is a great thing. You know? So I believe part of a business's approach to their call it attraction and retention strategy of employees is looking at things like these wellness programs, etc. And I'd say that I'd vouch for Fighters Den and the boxing stuff. I'd give anyone a try, you know. And I think most people are looking and saying, well, it's not for me, or that's not my demographic. They'd be pretty surprised that the kinds of people, all walks of life, all occupations that come into your classes.
Yeah. Well, you know, like a few of my clients, you know, they own real estate agents, businesses and sort of stuff like that. And, you know, we've been talks about bringing some of his workers, his people in for a bit of a team bonding, you know, things like that. That it's in the works. That, you know, that's going to be happening. So not just the team bonding, but, you know, good health in their workplace, you know, as well. So yeah.
And from the point of view of you touched on before, the mental health. You know, I've interviewed, you know, Craig Hamilton on this before, and I love Craig's story.
Loyal customer.
Yeah, I see Craig's there all the time, so he's a big advocate. Talk about the mental health aspects.
Well, you know, it helps. It definitely helps. It helps me, you know, when I'm stressed, whenever I get the gloves on, whatever. It definitely helps. You know, if you're going through a bad stage or whatever, fitness, exercise is the key. Is one of the biggest keys. You know,
all the endorphins and stuff.
The endorphins, releases all that. So, but in terms of Craig, you know, with what he suffers and all that, like he needs to do boxing every week, and the benefits that he gets from it is second to none. He tells me all the time, like, you know, and if he's going in the down, or anyone going through a rough day or whatever, come and train. You know, and he calls up, extra session today, sweet, come in. So it just helps, you know, and there's no, it's fun doing it, but it's so rewarding, you know, and it's tough on the body and stuff on the brain, and but yeah, it's good.
I come back to the kids one, you know, as I said, my boys get along and train, but, you know, that's a big one. There's a lot of people, it's not about, you know, and as you said, you've had people who get bullied before, kids and that sort of stuff, but it's not about teaching them they have to fight, but it's actually building up their self-esteem and confidence and giving them a bit of structure. You know, what's your take on that?
Yeah, 100%, mate. That's why these kids, especially a lot of my kids, come in, you know, because they are down in confidence, they are getting bullied or whatever. And like you said, it's not about teaching them how to hit, you know, so they think that they can go hurt or do that back to the kid. No way. It's just give them that extra confidence. So, you know, even the parents having to see their kid getting bullied or whatever, you know, and they feel a bit helpless, you know. That's why the parents bring their kids into a gym like mine. You know, give them that extra confidence. So if things are happening in school or wherever, online, social media these days is big on the bullying, like that they have the confidence like to not really take that in, you know, and just brush it off and and defend themselves if they have to, you know. So which is always good.
No, mate, I love it. And I think coming back to the business for a minute, you know, like obviously the first step was to get into business and get through the first few months. We're at that point. You mightn't have it yet, but what is the vision for Fighters Den? Where would you like to be in the future?
Well, the plan was a few years in the place where I'm at, build it up to a standard that's we've outgrown it, that space. If that comes sooner than a few years, awesome. But yeah, either expand into a new place or franchise off into another, you know, area of Newcastle that could succeed. There's different possibilities, but I'm just focused on the now and building it up into a standard that I want, and anything past that is just rewards.
Yeah, good. Well, more importantly for you, how do people get in touch?
Instagram, Fighters Den Boxing, or on Facebook, Fighters Den. You can jump on Google, just type in Fighters Den Boxing Gym, so it goes there, and you can book classes or whatever on there. So plenty of ways to reach out. But I'm always open for a message or a phone call. My number's online, so just call me up if you have any questions. Sweet. So I'm happy to help. But come on down and try it out. You won't regret it.
No, that's great. Good accountability.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for me, you know, just bringing some key messages out here.
Yeah.
You know, I think the first one you started to mention around, you know, no background in business, but actually taking smaller steps to get to where you want to be rather than jumping in all from the get-go. I think that's a great one, you know. Too many people just put it all out there and, you know, their life savings and then walk away with their tail between their legs. So that's a great one. You know, having mentors and or confidant sounding boards around you, that's a common message that comes out in these, you know, sessions. So, mate, another great one.
Yeah.
You know, learn from your mistakes,
you
know, because they are lessons. Just don't try to repeat them. But also, make sure those expectations are realistic and not aiming for, you know, shooting the lights out from the get-go, because business is hard, life's hard, you know, and it takes time. And the other one I think was really good was, and you mentioned a few times in different ways, having those conversations with your clientele. They're your customers, they're your market, and understanding what they're liking, what they're not liking. For instance, let's not go too early in winter, and you know. But reality,
please do.
Let's get the feedback from our customers. Make sure what we're doing is what they're going to buy or what they're interested to, because that's a really pretty key thing for business. So. And you know, from the corporate side of things, and as an employer myself, and I encourage anyone, get along, get your team involved. You know, boxing might be your thing. I think you can see Shane's training for passion for training generally, but I'd also, mate, get along with Fighters Den.
Yep.
Mate, thanks for the chat. Been a good one.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sharing your journey. So,
cheers, mate.
Till next time. Cheers.